How do we turn a failed run into a success?
First run back out of ISO, and it's a 2 hour long tempo.
Failure is the pathway to success. There's more to it than that, because failing in and of itself won't get us to where we really want to be. It's what we do with the failure that matters. There's 6 points I use to turn a failed run into a success. First is to put that run into perspective. Now, one single run doesn't make or break your whole training program. So a failed run might simply be, it was just purely a bad day, or there might be more that we take away from it. Sometimes we just need to accept that. Just because it didn't go to plan doesn't mean you didn't get a good training effect out of it. And a failed run is more than just not meeting your goal. It provides you information, and that information we extract from the run, well, it really helps us guide the rest of our training. So let's look into it. Why did the run fall apart? Why didn't you reach your goal? It might be as simple as your fitness isn't there that matches your goal. And it's really handy to know, because then you can use that information and work out what your gap in fitness is. How did you fail that run? So it might be as simple as you couldn't hold the pace. What was your lead up into the race? Were you feeling extra tired? Had you not recovered from the previous training? Because that run doesn't operate in isolation. Or how did you execute the run? Did you go out too fast? Were you meant to keep an even pace, but you spiked up, you pushed way harder on the hills? And what you can take from that is, it's a pacing issue. It's the execution. It might not be the fitness level. If you need to fix your pacing, that's something to work on so that you can make the most of your fitness come race day. But we can pull a lot of information out of that failed run, and then we can use that information. Objective over subjective. Usually when we have a failed run, we feel pretty bad about it, and we start questioning our fitness levels, our ability to reach our goals. Take away those subjective thoughts. Pull up the data from that run and look into it and compare it to other runs. What did the heart rate do? What was your pacing? Was it going fast? Was it slow? What did you do in recovery? Just purely look at the numbers and see what they tell you. I find that is a really good way to get the most from the information side of it and remove that emotional attachment that happens to those failed runs.
Well, that didn't go to plan.
Key lesson. You've put the whole run into perspective, you've gathered the information, you've removed the subjective component away from it, and you've taken the objective data. Now from there, what is the key lesson that you can pull out of this run? The key lessons could be something like, it was a pacing issue. I hadn't recovered from the previous training. I don't have the fitness to do what I was trying to do. I got my nutrition wrong. There's lots of different lessons that you can have, but pull one out. One key issue. Not 2, not 3, not 4, just one. And the 5th point is make a plan. And that plan is to address that one key element out of the run. So in my case, I struggled to hold that long tempo for the 2 hours. I started falling apart after 90 minutes. It was actually a pacing issue. So I went out too fast. I probably should have been aiming to hold about 5:15 per kilometre the whole time, but I was hitting 5:10 down to 5 minutes per K for most of it. And because I'd had that little bit of extra downtime due to the ISO week, I was feeling fresh. So those faster paces felt easier. And despite them feeling easier, the intensity was still up there and I was burning through my carbohydrates. The key lesson that I got out of it is a pacing issue where I ran slightly too fast for the first part of the run. So my plan is to address that. Do my next long tempo runs at exactly the desired pace. Really take notice of the pacing kilometre by kilometre, at least for the first section. And it's from there you see how I go. That way I can deal with any issues of whether the run feels too slow or fast, and that perception of RPE is just a little bit out versus what my body can really handle physiologically. And the final step, action. There's no point in going through everything else if we don't put that information, that objective over subjective element, don't put it in perspective, don't pull out the key lesson and have a plan. if we don't put the plan into action. Actually go out and follow the plan, make those adjustments, do what it takes to improve. That's how I turn a failed run into a success.